You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
the shopping thing is
Yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood.
Election's been amazing. The candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities.
I went to a seminar about death.
Okay, you have to tell. Well, you're
Oh
just
my
telling
God.
me this now.
I know, yeah.
Please share. Please share. Why?
I have a friend.
Why were you there, and what did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies, and that it's just an experience in the physical form, and we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls, and that we continue and continue and continue.
Lauren?
No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
Folks, looks like Diddy's trial just got messier. His lawyer just dropped a bombshell leaking a tape of Lauren London, and things are blowing up hard. Word is this tape got some heavy allegations, suggesting Lauren might have played a role in what went down with Nipsey Hussle. Yeah, her own baby daddy. Allegedly, she's snitched, and the whole situation might have been rigged from the jump, and now receipts are coming to light. Is Lauren really hiding more than we thought? Look, if you've been plugged into the Hollywood grapevine lately, you already know she's been bubbling under the surface like a pot ready to blow. We ain't talking your usual celebrity gossip. Nah, this one's darker than you can imagine. Word on the street is some wild-ass tapes have been circulating. Raw footage exposing the dirty underbelly of the so-called big shots. And yeah, Diddy's name keeps popping up like crazy.
You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
the shopping thing is
yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood.
Now, these ain't your typical party snaps or blurry red carpet vids. We're talking shady stuff, freaky-ass after-hours madness, and shady business deals that'd make you spit out their drinks. What's crazier? Most of these celebs had no damn clue cameras were rolling while they were getting wild. It's like they were starring in their own private snuff film and didn't even know it. Now, these tapes got industry veterans like Jaguar, Wright, and Gene Deal talking loud and clear, warning everybody this ain't some rumor you can just brush off. They've been in the game long enough to know when the walls are about to cave in, and believe me, those walls are crumbling fast. According to them, Diddy recorded them tapes, allegedly intending to use them as blackmail to control powerful celebrities and businessmen.
I sat right here and told y'all there was activity on the darknet. Videos were being distributed and were going to be sold for profit because the diddler needs the money. Did I not say that? Said that. Right here.
Those people who was caught at Diddy party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. That's a big house. But he had 250 tape recorders.
But it looks like the tapes fell into the hands of the feds, which wasn't part of Diddy's plan. Allegedly, these tapes have now reportedly been seized by federal investigators, is now key evidence in the ongoing trial.
They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large-capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims.
Now, the moment Diddy's trial started kicking off this May 2025, it was like dropping a match in a gas tank. Explosions everywhere. Celebrities who thought they were untouchable are now sweating bullets, trying to distance themselves from the freak shows allegedly hosted by Diddy's crew. But here's the kicker. Most of them don't deny they showed up to the parties. Nope, they own that part. The problem comes when they try to play innocent about what went down after the cameras left the main event. See, the after parties are where shit got twisted. And if you believe these folks left before things turned sideways, why in the hell were they back there year after year? Ain't nobody going back to a trap house if they ain't getting their cut or ain't part of the plan. It's all smoke and mirrors, and everybody on the block knows it. Now, as fingers start pointing, one name keeps ringing louder than a busted alarm. Lauren London. Yeah, that same Lauren, the queen holding down Nipsey Hussle's legacy, the mother of his kid, the one who preached loyalty and love like she were the saint of the streets. But hold up, because the streets don't lie and they're whispering some cold truths right now. Allegedly, there are tapes tying her directly into Diddy's freak culture, his inner circle where the real power games are played. And that got folks scratching their heads. Was she really writing for Nipsey like she said? Or was she playing both sides? Could she have been the inside plug, the one feeding info to Diddy? The timeline's looking mighty suspicious, and the street scholars are piecing it together.
Are people forgetting it was her and Lauren London? I just find it so funny how people are always omitting names and not really looking into the true facts.
Dig deep, and the story flips from a random tragedy to a cold, calculated hit. Nipsey wasn't just some rapper popping off. He was on the rise, moving like a king and not taking no from the industry gatekeepers. He wasn't fitting into their mold, and word is that made him a threat, one they wanted erased. Right after Diddy's arrest, rumors flew thick that he ordered the hit himself. Nipsey was taken out in broad daylight, getting riddled with at least 10 bullets outside his marathon store. No hesitation, no mercy. Yeah, Eric Holder got nailed and locked up for 60 years.
It would be 50 years to life. The total sentence would be 60 years to life in prison. The court.
But the streets have always said he was just the trigger man, a pawn in a much bigger game controlled by someone pulling strings from the shadows. That someone? Yep, Diddy's name keeps coming up. Jaguar Wright ain't shy about calling it like she sees it. She claims Diddy knew more than he let on, and that he didn't act solo. The real shocker? The talk around the block is Diddy had a mole close to Nipsey. Someone nobody would suspect. Someone in the perfect spot to feed intel back to the puppet master. And all eyes are narrowing on Lauren London, Nipsey's woman, the mother of his son. Wild, right? Jaguar didn't hold back either. She straight up said Lauren was the one who introduced Nipsey to Diddy.
Hook up with the biggest rapper at the time. Everything's great. By the way, isn't she? Lauren is the one that introduced Nip to Diddy. Diddy couldn't even get to Nip, even though he had ties in L.A. It was Lauren that brought Nip.
Nipsey himself confirmed it on The Breakfast Club, saying, "Lauren's the one who put me onto Puff." So that connection ain't just street gossip, it's fact.
Lauren? No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
Once you see it from that angle, the whole narrative shifts. Fans and street theorists are wondering, was Lauren just the loving girlfriend? Or was she planted there to keep tabs on Nipsey? Maybe even steer his moves, manipulate decisions, or control the narrative. And it ain't just rumors. Old photos have been resurfacing showing Lauren and Diddy looking way too cozy. Meanwhile, Nipsey's there too, but looking more like the side dude than the king he was. Now, right after Nipsey got taken from us, Lauren popped up on Angie Martinez's show, trying to play that strong, grieving queen role. But as soon as she opened her mouth, it got weird real quick. She started talking about how Diddy, Puff, the same guy with all the smoke around him, was helping her handle the pain. Then she dropped this crazy-ass line from Puff himself, telling her, "Boog, you've shown what it means to hold a man down and love him. Now show them what it looks like when it all falls apart. That's your responsibility." Hold up. Boog? That nickname? That ain't some random nickname. That's Nipsey's personal name for her. So why is Diddy out here using that name like they're tight and have something going on? That's the kind of move that turns heads and makes the streets buzz with suspicion. You don't get called by a late man's pet name unless there's something deeper, something messy going on. And trust me, folks noticed. But it ain't just that. Lauren also said she went to a death seminar before Nipsey even died. A seminar on grief. Think about that for a second. She's sitting with Angie talking about prepping for death before the dude was even cold. People were shocked. Angie was almost speechless. And the whole internet lit up.
I went to a seminar about death.
Okay, you have to tell. You're
Oh
just
my
telling
God.
me this now.
I know, yeah.
Please share. Please share. Why?
I have a friend.
Why were you there, and what did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies, and that it's just an experience in the physical form, and we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls, and that we continue and continue and continue.
That's not some coincidence or a coincidence you brush off with, "She was just preparing emotionally." Nah, that sounds like someone was bracing for a play, mentally getting ready to flip the script when the body hit the ground. Like she had insider info or was part of some bigger plan to act shocked and innocent when the bullets flew and the cameras rolled. That's cold and calculated, and the streets smell that from a mile away. Now, look at the timeline. After Lauren hooked Nipsey up with Diddy, Puff suddenly got deep into Nipsey's business. He didn't just roll up to a party and bump fists. He was pulled in, staged there with a purpose. Diddy helped produce Victory Lap, Nipsey's biggest album, the one that put him on a new level. People used to say, "That's a blessing," but some real ones started whispering, "Nah, that's a trap." Because if you know your hip-hop history, you remember Biggie's Life After Death album dropped right after Biggie was taken out. Nipsey wanted that same vibe, that same legacy, that same energy, and now that's heavy. Gene Deal, one of the insiders, put it bluntly, Nipsey's biggest mistake was letting Diddy get those hooks in.
Now, you taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, "I wanted that same feel as life after death." That same feel was that Biggie got murdered and he went on to sell about 10 million albums or 10 million copies. I was saying, you got to watch what you say to demons, because it just might come true.
Once Puff was in the mix, Nipsey's world changed. He went from grinding in the studio to spending more time chilling at Diddy's mansion. And if you watch the man's face on camera, stress starts creeping in. His energy switched up. You don't lose your spark like that without something tugging on your soul.
You know, I look at Puff like a Quincy Jones or like a Barry Gordy.
Here's the theory everyone's been chewing on. Diddy saw Nipsey as a threat, a real threat. Nipsey wasn't some industry puppet mouthing off for the cameras. He was a street king with a voice that scared the powers that be. He wasn't about to bow down to Hollywood's rules or fake politics. So what do you do with a threat like that? You snuff him out. But a threat that big doesn't get eliminated by accident. Someone had to open the door, and the buzz on the block is that Lauren might have been that door. Yeah, his own woman, the one who supposedly loved him the most. The big question now is, what the hell did Lauren know? Was she just the grieving widow, or was she covering tracks, playing her part in the dirty game behind closed doors? Fast forward to Diddy's trial, and shit's about to hit the fan hard. Word is more names will pop, more receipts will drop, and if those freak-off tapes, inner circle chats, and backdoor deals really exist, if Jaguar, Wright, and Gene Deal ain't just talking loud for no reason, then everything we thought about Nipsey's death could be a damn lie from the jump. The streets are wide awake, eyes peeled, and ears tuned. And the online community has been loud about all that has gone down. One user wrote, "So basically Lauren played the role of a handler with Nipsey SMH. That rumor was circulating when he passed away that she had something to do with it, but it quickly went away." Another user wrote, "Lauren London is a handler allegedly. Just like most women in the industry, if she's in the room, then you leave it immediately." While this other user wrote, "Only way to get close to a king, his queen." And it ain't just about the tapes, it's about what those tapes mean. If they prove Diddy's crew was running some twisted circus behind the scenes, if Lauren's not just an innocent bystander but a player, then the whole narrative flips upside down. Now, I'm not saying you gotta believe all the rumors or swallow every conspiracy whole. But when the dots start connecting and the same names keep popping up in every corner of the story, you've got to ask yourself, what's really going on? And here's the kicker. This ain't just about Nipsey or Lauren or even Diddy. It's about power, control, and how the game plays out when real kings get in the way of the industry's puppeteers. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and the cost of standing your ground in a world where every move is watched and every friend might be your enemy. So what's your take on all this? Is Lauren just a broken woman caught in a nightmare? Or is she part of the cold machinery that crushed Nipsey's rise? Is Diddy the mastermind behind the scenes? And if these tapes drop, if the receipts hit the streets, could Lauren get dragged down too? into Diddy's already sinking ship? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next round of Hollywood Shockers.